Hey guys, it's Squall, and something bad is about to happen, and this is part 10 of Everlasting Summer. My gut told me that it's dangerous to stay here. I went to the door and tried to open it. Locked. What a surprise! How did she manage to quietly lock me in? You're quite the imbecile apparently. I don't know what's on her mind, but I need to get out of here. There's a window right there. I went to the window, opened it, and climbed out. He actually did something smart for once. Now I can go and take care of business, or I chose the second option and waited. What is the reason she had me locked up? I wanted to know what was happening. Plus, I really wanted to see Alisa's face when she finds her room empty. I hid in the bushes next to the house and waited. After some time, I heard footsteps. Alisa and Olga Dmitrievna came to the house. Ooh, was she gonna lie about you? You'll see everything for yourself. She opened the door and went in. A few seconds later, she ran back out. Alisa's face looked as if she'd just won the mouse catching competition, but at the last moment found out that it's not a real Olympic sport. Wow, that is one hell of an analogy. So he just disappeared? Olga Dmitrievna asked skeptically. I did the right thing by closing the window after myself. Oh no. I understand everything. Name I can't pronounce. You and your roommate, every time the same thing. Haven't you had enough yet? Tell her how it is. But it's true. Really? One story after another. Semyon in your cabin, Semyon harassing you. Why do you keep lying? That's horrible. It really is. Alisa seemed really upset and to my surprise was not trying to argue. Get wrecked, girl. On the one hand, it was funny to look at, but on the other, I felt a bit sorry. You're feeling sorry for the girl trying to ruin your life? She deserves it though. Thank you. Oh geez. Our leader finally finished scolding her and left. Alisa was mad. Alisa was possessed. She clenched her fist and trembled. Her face was flushed. It seemed to me that she was going to explode. I sat in the bushes and laughed quietly. However, I was wondering what was on her mind and I came out of my hiding place, not afraid of being beaten. So what exactly did you want to show the leader? Me? Alisa turned and looked at me with disbelief. After a moment, surprise turned to anger. You! What about me? She calmed down a bit. Because you're a loser. And why is that? 'Cause you're afraid to compete with me. Compete with... In what? When? When we played... Oh... Yeah. No, I wasn't afraid to compete with you. I just wasn't about to ruin my life over some bet, homegirl. When we played cards. What a serious reason, right? Yeah. Maybe I should apologize to you? I asked sarcastically. Screw you! She went into the house, slamming the door. I wasn't angry at Alisa. In the end, I'd expected her to do something like this. Anyway, I got through with it without consequences. I was very lucky. Her confusion and embarrassment just made my day. Chuckling, I left Alisa's cabin, which was about to become my death trap. I went for lunch with mixed feelings, with a sense of accomplishment and with a realization of time wasted. I don't know, you got to see her humiliated. The canteen was crowded. I couldn't stay unnoticed. Olga Dmitrievna called me. Semyon, come with us. The camp leader, Slavia, and Electronic were sitting at the 4-seat table. I nodded and went to get my food. This time I had to spend several minutes in the queue. Today's menu didn't really differ from the other day's menus. The dishes looked the same, at least. When I sat at the table and wished bon appetit to everyone, Olga Dmitrievna said, "So, what are you thinking?" "About what?" "Shurik, you idiot. We searched for Shurik all around. It's noon and he's nowhere to be found." I took a note of the rhyme, but didn't want to point it out. It rhymed? We looked all over the camp. I went all around the neighboring forest. Olga Dmitrievna looked at me. And I helped too. For some reason I thought he was gonna say, "And I will always love you." "We must call the police." "Maybe we should wait until the evening?" I wouldn't know what the laws in 80s Russia would be, but here in the States, I think they have to be missing for at least 24 hours before the police will search for them. I might be wrong. They may have changed that. I don't know. "Maybe we should wait until the evening?" I asked lazily. "Maybe he went home." "That can't be. Shirk lived thousands of miles away." "By train? The nearest station..." She paused. "Is far off." "Ah, hiding something, are we, camp leader?" Now it was getting interesting. Every time the conversation reached the point concerning ways I could leave Sovyonok, all the camp inhabitants started changing the subject. Right? I knew it wasn't crazy. "How far is far?" "Really far." The camp leader looked at me, indicating with her expression that asking more questions was not advised. "So we should go deeper into the forest. Maybe he got lost." "Shirk always takes a compass," chimed in Electronic. "I wonder what else could be found in his magic vest, assuming he has one. If I were to get lost in the forest, a compass would be of no real use." "Police! We should call the police in the evening." "Not right now, at least." "Okay, so you'll do it later." They were all silent. "We should be able to find him before evening. We still have time." "If he actually got lost, we have no time to lose." "We cannot be sure." "Then where is he? Where?" There was some truth to the camp leader's words. Hiding the whole day just like that is suspicious. So you know what I was thinking? In one of the early episodes, Olga Dmitrievna was scolding Uliana in her cabin, and someone said, "Leave Lena alone," and Semyon thought that they had said Rena, and then from out of nowhere you just get this jump scare of this crazy lady holding a bloody butcher knife, and it was so out of place, and like to this day I have no idea what it could have meant or what it was for. Now I'm starting to think, what if that has something to do with Shirk's disappearance? Again, I know absolutely nothing about this game, so I could be speaking complete nonsense, but you would think that after a while that weird pop out would come full circle with the story. I don't know. Why would he do that? Shirk seemed to me to be a quite serious pioneer. Uliana would have been a better fit for this behavior. So there is good reason to believe that he is gone. All that can be done has already been done. We'll just have to wait. Slavia, Electronic, and Olga Dmitrievna looked at me sorrowfully, but didn't say a word. I finished my lunch, took the tray back, and left the canteen. It's still the first half of the day. What now? The camp was drifting off for an afternoon nap. Those always leave me with headaches. Only Genda stared at me through his glasses. Oh, he's pushing up his glasses. This whole time I thought he was like face palming. Of course, he was staring somewhere else, but I had a feeling that he was constantly watching me. I bet he knows where Shirk is hiding. He just can't say anything. The disappearance of the cybernetic club's leader made me think. Maybe it's got something to do with my case. Oh, Pioneer. The nurse stood in front of me. I looked at her curiously. Go and take my place in the infirmary. I have an urgent call. Somebody is injured. Me? Yes, you. Take the keys. The nurse threw me the keys and ran away. Why me? Because you're the protagonist. Isn't there anyone else in this camp? What exactly should I be doing? What if something happens? Oh, what do I do now? I missed my chance to refuse. I stood in front of the door uncertainly. On the one hand, there is nothing to worry about. I'll spend half an hour or so here and she'll be back. But what if someone comes for actual help? With a broken leg or a head injury? I began to worry too much. I hope that there are no injuries more serious than bruises and scratches in this camp. But at the same time, I could not shake the idea that in a serious situation, I would be absolutely useless. I don't even know how to perform CPR. A magazine on the nurse's table caught my attention. A good way to relax, I guess. This is labeled Soviet fashion. The publication date or month were absent. Curious. However, this was not a surprise. There were much stranger things happening here. I didn't know much about Soviet magazines. Maybe they actually didn't have publication dates on them. Models dressed in old-fashioned clothes stared at me from the glossy pages. Nowadays, nobody would wear such clothes. I smirked. I wonder if Slavia, for example, considered this fashionable. I can only imagine what would happen if she appeared in my time wearing something like this. Imagine we are walking hand in hand. I'm wearing my coat with the hood and she is dressed in a lavish dress covered with lace and things. Seems like I'm already imagining Slavia in my world. With me. And not only Slavia. This dress better suits Uliana. This cute Sarafan would look good on Alisa. This skirt and cardigan would look nice on Lena. If only they could be real. No, I saw them, heard them, and could even touch them. But still, they are here, and I simply don't belong in this place. It's alien to me. I'm just waiting for a chance to get out of here. Waiting because nothing is up to me anymore. I sighed, put my head on the table, and fell asleep. I was awoken by the noise of the door opening. Lena stood at the door. The nurse isn't here? Then I'll come back later. I'm substituting for her. Since I am responsible for pioneers' lives, I should do it with full responsibility. Although in fact, I was just afraid of something bad happening because of me. Any health complaints? I tried to give Lena the most professional smile I could in order to not confuse her. Nothing special. Just a little headache. Let's do this. Some painkillers maybe. Of course, I wasn't aware where to find required medicine, so it took me a while to find them. Finally. Hey, you know what works for a headache or a migraine if you don't have any medicine on you? Fill a bowl with water and ice, put your hands in it, and flex your hands. Try it. Finally. However, to protect myself, I should mention I am not a doctor. Not a doctor. Actually, forget what I said. Forget what I said. I handed a metamucil tablet to Elena. Metamucil? I hope one day to go into medicine, so I really learn the pronunciations of these things. Thanks. She smiled. That was completely unexpected, and I lost touch with reality, staring at her. What? Lena turned awkward in an instant. Listen, I've been wondering, do you like this? I don't know what got into me, but I grabbed that magazine from the table and showed her that picture of a skirt and a cardigan, which would really suit Lena in my opinion. Maybe I went completely nuts, thinking about all the girls being in my world. Or maybe I wanted to distract myself instead of just waiting for the nurse to come back. Lena looked at the picture. Yes, I guess. Is stuff like this in fashion? I guess. She got confused and started blushing. Why do you ask? Really, why? Thank you. It's alright, I'm just being completely honest. We were quiet for some time. How's your headache? Much better, thank you. She smiled. I'll be off. Good luck. Lena went out and I continued to look through the magazine. After a while, somebody knocked at the door again. Seems that the infirmary is the most popular place to go. Suddenly I decided to roleplay a nurse. Just the male version. And said, "Come in." The door opened and Uliana entered the room. All hell broke loose. Wow, did I miss the moment when you decided to start knocking? Anything wrong with me knocking? She frowned. Where does it hurt? Why on earth would I tell you? Where's the nurse? Right in front of you. I imposingly crossed my legs and looked questioningly at her. I'd better go. It'd be better to die than to be treated by you. She smiled mischievously. You didn't even let me try. Liana thought for a moment. No, you could give me some pills. It's bothering you. It took her to some time to reply. A heavy stomach. Sure it's not an empty head? I muttered under my breath. What did you say? Nothing. Give me a second. I found the pills in the first drawer I opened. Thank you, doctor. She smiled cheerfully. Watching Uliana, I could not imagine how such an optimistic and active child could have any health problems. Overdose of stolen candies. Alright, she was nice for once, so we're gonna be nice. Got food poisoning from the canteen? Considering the local cuisine, it's not that surprising. Maybe. She smirked. I see you're still alive and kicking. Well, I'm not complaining. Bye. Ow, gosh. Uliana ran out of the infirmary, slamming the door. Again, I went back to studying Soviet fashion trends. Time passed, but the nurse was still absent. I wasn't searching for Shirk, wasn't looking for any clues concerning my situation. I was just sitting and flipping through a magazine. Just for a moment, I felt quite satisfied with the situation. So far, everything that has happened here could be seen as just a trip to a summer camp, and if nothing changes at any time soon, then I can start worrying. Again, somebody knocked on the door. Did I miss the outbreak of an epidemic? Aw, Slavia was standing at the doorway. Oh, hi. Isn't the nurse here? Hi, no, she's not here. I'm taking over for her today. Great. She hesitated. What? By the way, Semyon, Slavia said and looked intently at me. What? It seems like I lost my keys. Have you seen them anywhere? Sure I have. Yes, here, I found them near the canteen yesterday. I wanted to return them to you but forgot about it. I was really bad at lying. My cheeks were red, my eyes were wandering around, and hands were constantly shaking. Yeah, I was about to say, wasn't it a few days ago that you got the keys? Here. I was already preparing myself for an appropriate scolding, but Slavia only took the keys and said, "Thanks. So what have you come for?" I really needed to change the subject. "Does anything hurt?" "No, it's nothing." Strange. I wouldn't even think that such an open person as Slavia would keep something quiet. Woman problems, right? If there's something bothering you, tell me. That's why I'm here, to treat people. I smiled widely. No. I mean, yes, but no. Hearing that made anything possible, even division by 0. So, how can I help you? You? I guess you can't. She smiled and was going to leave, but suddenly stopped. However, could you step out for a minute? Yeah, woman problems. Why not? Okay. I stepped out of the infirmary and leaned against the wall. I wonder what she might be doing. Something that I can't even see. After a minute, the door opened and Slavia came out. She was carrying a small bundle. Good luck, I shouted after her. Thank you. She gave me one of her sweet smiles before leaving. I looked at the time. Where's the clock? It was getting late. I'd read the magazine backwards and forwards, but the nurse still wasn't here. Oh, great. Suddenly the door burst open and Alisa rushed inside. She looked at me piercingly. What are you doing here? Sitting, I admitted honestly. Okay then. It's even better without the nurse, she murmured. Are you sick? I asked acidly. Alisa didn't answer and came closer to me. Move over. Why? So I can open the drawer, isn't it obvious? What for? She got angry. None of your business. You know who this girl reminds me of? I might be completely alone here, but she sort of resembles Chloe from Life is Strange. Not just in the face, but in her personality, her attitude, her demeanor. Since day one, she's reminded me of her. Huh. Well, I'm kinda in charge here. She gave it a moment's thought. Yeah, like right here. She kinda looks like her. I don't know if it's my imagination. I don't know. She gave it a moment's thought. Then give me some activated carbon. Stomachache? Yeah. She grinned sharply. I got the feeling there was something wrong here. I could care less. In real life, I would not do this, but give Alisa the activated carbon. But you never know. What if she really has an ache? Okay. I reached into the drawer and got out a packet of activated carbon. Thanks. She wrestled it from my hand and ran away. Well, I'm gonna pay for that later, but it's okay. It was 15 minutes till dinner, and the nurse still wasn't back. Damn, she's been gone long. I guess just leaving the place like this won't do. She asked me to look after it after all. And who knows what might happen if I leave. Though who would want to steal anything from here? Except for Alisa stealing activated carbon. I opened the magazine again and began flipping through it for the nth time. The fashions of the 80s weren't that fun anymore. Yawning got me several times. It was already 6 o'clock, so dinner had already started. Of course, I had to be on the watch till the end, but my stomach seemed to have its own opinion on the matter. I stood up and steadily headed to the exit. A rustling sound came from behind the door. Could it be someone else who got poisoned, broke their arm, or something even worse? I sighed heavily and pulled the doorknob. However, there was no one out there. Seems it was just my imagination. I returned inside and instantly noticed that something had changed in the infirmary. There's an apple here. Huh. To be precise, an apple had appeared on the table. But where from? Fruits can't just materialize from thin air by themselves, can they? Though in this camp anything is possible. Chances are someone just brought it here. Maybe Lena wanted to thank me, given that she's all shy and... But wait, how could she just slip past me like that? Lena wouldn't climb through the window after all. So there must be something else. I was suddenly overwhelmed by fear. What if the apple is poisoned? Though why would someone complicate things when I'm here totally helpless and can be killed way more easily? Or it might be the apple which Eve tasted in the Garden of Eden. You know, fun fact, the Bible never actually said it was an apple. It just said it was a fruit. Most people just assume it was an apple. But either way, Semyon, homeboy, how would that apple end up here? In that case, I certainly shouldn't eat it. In the same second, my stomach reminded me it was there by rumbling traitorously. However, it would take time to close the infirmary, to reach the canteen to get food. My stomach's about to eat itself. There's nothing wrong, I guess. Once again, I tried to remember if this apple was here before. In the end, it must have appeared from somewhere. Maybe it got here through the window? The shutter was slightly open, so someone must have reached in and put it here. Nothing serious. However... And we're gonna leave it right here. And we're gonna find out whether or not Semyon eats the apple in part 11 of Everlasting Summer. So until next time, thank you. And by the way, in real life, don't eat apples that appear out of nowhere. It's a bad idea.